review for Smile 2022, directed by Parker Finn. So after witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, a psychiatrist becomes increasingly convinced she is being threatened by an uncanny entity. So that basically sums it up. I won't go into what the incident is because, YouTube doesn't like that, but let's say people are ending themselves. And she is a psychiatrist, and this lady shows up, and she's a psychiatrist that works a lot. She really cares about her patients. And this lady shows up, and she thinks she's gonna die and be killed, and she's a smart lady too. She's a PhD candidate. She's in this room with her, and then all of a sudden she freaks out and says, "It's here," but only she can see it. And then she calls for help, and then she ends herself. And before, you have this huge grin on your face, smiling when you do it. And that basically starts the movie. If you witness this, then it jumps to you. It's like a curse. And and then it jumps to the psychiatrist, and then she starts to have these visions, and then the movie plays out, and she learns more about how this entity is jumping from people to people. And obviously no one believes her. So I wasn't really into this movie. There's a lot of jump scares in this movie. I mean, a lot. I mean, it made a bunch of money, so I don't know. I guess jump scares are now popular. I mean, they can be effective. There is like one or two that I thought were pretty good in this, but it's just a lot of jump scares and just basically scaring you with the editing. I mean, the movie's almost 2 hours long. I was like, really? It's like almost 2 hours long. You could easily take out 10-15 minutes of this movie. And to be honest, most of the characters in the movie are not likable. You don't know that much about them, but they don't seem like really nice people, and they're just not very likable. I will say the main star is, because of some of the things that they go over, that, she just wants to help people. She could even make more money, but she likes the hospital she's in. But yeah, I didn't find her boyfriend that likable. Kyle Gallner, he was okay as a detective. Cal Penn is in this as a doctor, as basically her boss. I thought that was cool. It's cool to see him. I mean, I like him, but you don't really know much about him. I mean, at one point he is like chastising her for helping people that don't have insurance. So he's not very likable, I guess, but I like Cal Penn as an actor, so it's cool to see him. But yeah, I just found the movie just kind of boring. This movie is like The Ring. I mean, once you watch the tape of The Ring, then it jumps to you, and then you even have a certain amount of time before you die. Like in this, you have basically like 4 to 5 to 6 days before you die. I don't know. It's probably some other movies too combined. That's the one that really stood out at me. It's just you've kind of seen this before. It's almost like that, and also Batman, the first Batman movie with that serum that makes you smile and then you keel over and die. I don't know, kind of reminded me of that like love that Joker kind of thing. I don't know if that was an influence like that and The Ring kind of like smashed together, but I kind of felt I definitely felt that. So, but yeah, there's a lot of jump scares. There's one jump scare This is now spoilers. I mean, I don't really recommend this movie. It's kind of all shot in this like dreary, very little color way too, but you see that with a lot of modern movies, so it's nothing the cinematography is nothing special, I'd say. There's one jump scare I will say with the sister that I thought was creepy. I will give it that. With the sister, and she's like tapping on the glass of her car. Then all of a sudden her head swings down like she was, being hanged or something. I thought that was actually pretty good. So, but yeah, and like her mother had a history of mental illness, so then some people think that she does. And the boyfriend's all like surprised, like he's like, I looked it up, that could be given genetically. It's like, well, duh. I mean, like most things are genetic, right? So, I mean, obviously, if your parents or whatever had an illness, then maybe you can get that illness too, like a heart attack or whatever. So I don't know, that was like a big twist. I was like, I mean, come on, doesn't everyone know this? Um, a lot of times when they're smiling, I was just laughing. It's just like it's kind of creepy, but it's just kind of just stupid looking. Like when her psychiatrist comes in to talk to her, and then she gets a call from that psychiatrist, and that happens I think twice. It's like she's talking to someone in her house, and then that person calls them and is like, "Oh, sorry, I couldn't make it," or whatever. But the person's right in front of her. So it's this entity that no one else can see. It's like basically a ghost. They even mention a ghost. And then it's her psychiatrist, and she starts smiling, and I don't know, she just looked really weird, and I was just like, uh, um, Robin Weigert, I think is the lady that did that scene. Wasn't into it. It's just laugh. It's just like silly. I just found it silly and stupid, and the entity at the end is kind of creepy. It's like this giant, basically version of her mother. Um, but yeah. So I didn't think it was that great. It made like over $200 million. It totally sets it up for a sequel. Yeah, spoilers. It's totally set up for a sequel because the cop, who's also her ex-boyfriend, is trying to break into their old house because Sosie Bacon, is that Kevin Bacon's daughter? Oh wow, probably. I don't know. I think it may be. Um, she's in this house, and this entity's chasing her, and the boyfriend or ex-boyfriend's trying to break in, and then the entity basically like consumes her. He gets in there, and then he sees it. He sees her die, and then it's gonna jump to him. So the next movie will be him or whatever, 20 people down the line, like he's already dead, maybe. When they are smiling and killing, it's kind of hilariously bad some of the time. Yeah, I thought so, but it's directed by Parker Finn. I haven't seen any of his other movies. Um, he directed Laura Hasn't Slept and The Hide Behind. Haven't seen any of them. So, yeah, it's just kind of a mediocre movie. Like a better horror movie that came out a year before this, I'd say is The Black Phone. I thought that was much better. Should maybe rewatch that, but yeah, I mean, it's a couple of movies smashed together with the smile gimmick, and I just found it boring. So, but and then also throughout the movie, like they call it like a demon, and she never goes to a priest once. I mean, it's like, or I don't know, even like a Muslim priest or something. I mean, or a Jewish priest, but never goes to any priest. Just no one believes her. I guess none of them are religious at all. I mean, I know she's like, a scientist and stuff, but I mean, you would think at a certain point you'd be like, well, I'm just going to go to a priest and try this out. Like go to a Catholic church, talk to the priest. No, never. No one even brings it up, not once. I was like, okay, well, I don't know. I just think that it's kind of like, I mean, not a plot hole, but really. So no one goes to a priest, not even once, to try and get I mean, she says it's a curse. She says it's an entity. She even calls it a demon, I think. So why don't you go to a priest and try to exorcise the demon? I don't know. Never, not once. And then she finds out that if you kill someone in front of someone else, it jumps to the person that witnesses it. So then she almost does that, but she doesn't go through with it. And I just knew she wouldn't either. She just isn't. I didn't think she was gonna go kill a random person or anything. They kind of have a scene where she is doing it, but she's just thinking about it, and she's outside the hospital. She's gonna do it to this one guy who was a patient. It was kind of a brutal scene, but when it was happening, I'm like, I bet she's dreaming or something, and she is. So, but yeah, the movie's predictable. I don't know why it made all that money. I have no idea. But I guess some people enjoyed it, and there's probably gonna be like a trilogy minimum because it's made tons of money. So good for it, I guess. But wasn't my cup of tea. But if you could smash that like button, that'd be great. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you've seen it, if you enjoy the movie. If you think I'm wrong, if you think it's great. But that's about it. See you next time.